He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone and T.
Because they made us.
Oh, yo. What's going on, everyone? Welcome in. How do I look in this shot? Am I too tall? I am too tall, Moose. Okay, there we go. How am I looking? Looking good? If sound good. Sounds great. Sounds perfect. What's going on, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new Scone and T. We are here at Oliver Twist. A wonderful post-Christmas Wednesday night here. The kind of sleepy part of the year. By the way, Moose, I think I screwed up this camera. Did I tilt it? Is it? Yeah, you can just center. Yeah, there we go. Center on this beautiful mug right here. A sleepy time of the year, a time when nobody's normally working, a time that's, in a lot of ways, generally the calm before the storm. But, like manna from heaven, ask, and the football gods ye shall receive. And that's exactly what happened as late breaking news about 20 minutes ago. Kayshon Boutte tweeting out that he has had a change of heart and that he will be declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft. Now, 21 minutes ago. This caps off what was an interesting day of stories with Kayshon Boutte, as earlier in the day it was announced that he would be unavailable for the bowl game. There was an idea out there put forward that, he's skipping the bowl game to focus on next year. And to me, that felt a bit odd. Like, taking no risks heading into your senior season doesn't make sense. Taking no risks heading into the NFL draft does. Like, heading into your senior season, if you're trying to become the best wide receiver that you can, the bowl practices and the bowl game are critical growth points. It's one of the reasons why coaches are so passionate about getting bowl eligible is they want those extra 15 practices to develop young guys, develop older guys who are going to come back for their senior year. And so, look, it's all a little jumbled in my head, so we're going to break it down. We'll go through the timeline of all this, and we'll try to make it make sense, okay? Because it could be, but I don't think it's as simple as a change of heart. Maybe it is. I mean, that's on the table. But again, the timing of this, I think, can offer some clues. And I've talked to some people that have, I'll get into kind of around, or what I've maybe heard could be the case. I don't want to be rumor mongering, but we'll see if we can kind of piece the puzzle together. Look, Matt is on vacation tonight. And so it's just going to be me. I'll invite Moose in here to give a take here in a little bit. We're hanging out here at Oliver Twist. If you are looking for somewhere to go on New Year's, Oliver Twist is going to have bottomless champagne New Year's Eve. They're going to have incredible cocktails. You know me. Generally every week on this show, I'm drinking a fancy cock. And I'm someone who's never really done, like, premium cocktails in my entire life, and ever since I've been coming here, they are fantastic. Some of the things they create here is incredible. Oliver Twist, we're here every Wednesday, 7 to 8. If you ever want to come hang out, say what's up. And again, for New Year's, the best whiskey and bourbon selection in the city. All right, I was letting some people get in here. Let's go ahead and break this down. I got a few things on the docket today. Obviously, I want to talk about Kayshon Boutte. I want to talk about some news pieces that happened when we were out over Christmas break. Jaden Daniels returning, Denver Harris officially committing. I kind of want to talk some college football playoff maybe if we have time at the end, and I'll be taking your questions throughout. Bilbo saying T-Bob hit the Parish Grand Reserve if you can. Okay, maybe we'll see. Voodoo says, have y'all seen Jack Besh's reaction to the Boutte news? And here it is brought up right here. Oh, wow. Jack Besh tweeting out 2 crying face emojis. So, okay, look, maybe that's a case where the rest of that wide receiver, well, it feels like I don't want to speak ill of the dead, right? I don't just want to let run wild. Okay, let's start at what we know. Earlier this day, it was announced that Kayshon Boutte would be unavailable for the bowl game and that it was not injury-related, that he was healthy. This is a bit surprising because one of the coups for Brian Kelly in this offseason on December 5th was Kayshon Boutte returning. I mean, that's one of those fascinating parts, Moose, about looking at his Twitter right now, is that the last tweet, so his most recent tweet is 24 minutes ago. After careful thoughts and consideration, I will be declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft. The last tweet before that was on December 5th, and it was a picture of him running in the end zone against Georgia, along with a note, and the end of which said, I believe in this team, coaches, strength staff, nutrition staff, and training staff. It is important to follow your dreams and live with the results. While some stories will end here, mine will not. Let's lock in and focus on the main goal of any LSU Tiger, winning a national championship. Hashtag BK Takeover, signed Kayshon Boutte. So what happened in those intervening 20 days? Certainly, it is possible that he had further conversations with scouts, agents, his family, whoever, maybe with himself. With God, right? Like, he had conversation. I'm not saying this like people are in his ear, right? These people are adults. They make decisions for themselves. We will treat them as such. When they enter the NFL, we will treat them like adults. Like, we don't give them free passes depending on whether they sink or swim like their rookie year in the NFL. So these guys are adults. I'm not saying anybody's in his ear, right? But maybe there was further information presented to him, or he ruminated upon the same information, and he arrived at a place where he's like, you know what? I actually don't think I want to run it back. I see a lot of my peers going to the draft. Yes, I'm making NIL money, but I've always wanted to be in the NFL. Maybe I can make more money, which I don't really know the truth of that at all. I imagine an NFL minimum would be above what he was making in NIL, but again, I don't really know that to be true. And so maybe that's the case. The only thing that makes me kind of question that is, if that was it, if it was simply a change of heart, why would LSU head him off with the announcement of Kayshon Boutte will be unavailable to play in the Citrus Bowl? They did not say Kayshon Boutte is declaring for the draft. They didn't say he was hurt. They didn't wish him luck. They said he will be unavailable for the bowl game. And then Kayshon Boutte a few hours later tweeting, I'm out. I have talked to a couple people around the program, and I don't think it's anything hyper scandalous. There is an idea out there, and this is all alleged, so take this with a heavy grain of salt, because I said the first scenario is very realistic, a simple change of heart. It's only the LSU release that makes this a bit wonky. But there's an idea out there that maybe like a team rule was broken, and that because that team rule was broken, he was kind of being unofficially suspended for this game. When viewed through that lens, I will say the timing of everything does start to make a bit of sense, right? As that would explain LSU getting ahead of his absence while not saying, and you know, being clear that he is still enrolled in school for the spring, saying that he is not declaring. It would also explain the somewhat emotional, somewhat haphazard nature of the tweet from a few minutes ago. Because think about everybody else that is declared. I'm just thinking about this. Think about everybody else, Moose, that is declared for the draft this year. And think about what Kayshon Boutte had when he announced he was coming back. It was a planned graphic with a well-thought-out note, and it was all, very professionally done, right? With the important parts even, highlighted. That's how into the details that they got on this stuff. And when you think about this was just a tweet, just a regular old kind of, this what's the word I'm looking for? Very just kind of bludgeoned, right? Just kind of thrown very casually onto the timeline. To me, that speaks to a bit of emotion. That speaks to a bit of reaction, which again could make sense if a team rule was violated, LSU was suspending him, and that is what it is. I don't know that to be true, but it could be. Moose, how do you? What's your? You learned this news just as we were starting the show. What was your initial reaction?
Yeah, right. So I was setting everything up. I wasn't on Twitter or anything, so I didn't see it. You came in and said, "Did you see the news?" I said, "What news?" And then you said, "Kayshon's gone." And I said, "Oh, that news." It's been a very kind of confusing day. You kind of highlighted a little bit of it there, T, didn't you? I mean, the statement that LSU put out was confusing in its own right.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'm going to pull that up while you're talking.
There was nothing. it was like 3 lines.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a full paragraph. It was 3 lines. Kayshon Boutte will not be available for the bowl game. Brian Kelly says he's enrolled in school for the spring. That was it. It left everything up to the imagination, which, honestly, I think there's probably potentially maybe a better way to handle that. I mean, if what you were just talking about, if it was a violation of team rules or something, you could have put that in a statement.
Yeah.
LSU's released that in a statement many times, right?
I know. Maybe you're trying to play him with kid gloves a little bit, though, right?
Maybe.
You're trying not to.
I just think that
because my initial thing was I actually thought academics, and
a lot of people
it could
thought
be, and it could be. I mean that is something. Normally, when you're overly vague like this, it's something in that realm.
Yeah, for sure. But that was the thing that struck me was it was so overly vague, and it left so much. It fueled so much speculation, which I think dominated really all of the afternoon. And now we are. I'm surprised. I mean, this was not on my Citrus Bowl bingo card.
Did y'all talk about it all afternoon? Was that one of the main? Was it the main story?
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Ronnie was in for Matt today, and that dominated. Sure, I mean, we had a couple guests on talking about it, and it was, I mean, centered on Kayshon, but also just kind of, everything around college football when it comes to bowl games these days as well. But it's definitely the news of the day, and it caught me by surprise. I mean, I think the elation that everyone felt when he announced he was coming back, you kind of feel that same deflation a little bit right now.
Yeah, I mean, but I got to be honest, though, and again, this is not me trying to, victory lap or now that he's gone, be like, he wasn't that good anyway, because his potential was elite, and we know that.
Yeah.
But he was not producing to that potential at all. And even when it was announced that he was coming back, that is great. It was almost more of a symbolic victory than it was like, okay, I'm now expecting 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. I was not expecting that because of what we have seen the last couple of years, which again is a lot of potential, but lacking the kind of consistent production, and not always on him, right? It's what we're going to talk about a bit with Jaden Daniels. Like one of my main goal for the offseason for this LSU offense as a whole is to find a way to exploit the wide receiver room. Mm-hmm. That is your most talented room on the team. You cannot afford another year where you waste so much, because that's the best room in the team, and it's producing like an average room, right? And so my main goal is for that to get better, and certainly I was hoping that Kayshon would help in that regard, but I didn't know that it was just like a guarantee. If anything, like I said, I thought it was a symbolic victory for Kelly and the state of LSU NIL, that it could help in making that happen. But it looks like that was a victory that was short-lived. But again, I don't know that I find this overly damning. To me, this is kind of, it wasn't inevitable, but it is the end of a long process that has been Kayshon struggling to adjust fully to the process, right? The new Brian Kelly process.
For sure.
That was instituted. I mean, there was some friction early on. Now, it's certainly like they seemed smoothed it over. And I want to give Kayshon credit. A lot of people accused him of bad body language throughout the year. I do not believe – I do not believe – I don't know what that is. I do not believe that was the case, right? Sure, Florida State had some bad moments. I felt like he was bought in for the rest of the year, and I felt like he was playing hard for the most part. He just wasn't having the production that he wanted. But it looks like maybe that initial friction, maybe there was a violation of team rules. And at a certain point, you're like, well, why am I coming back? I was already maybe going to go to the NFL and not even playing in the bowl game. Screw it. I'm going to the league, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so you just said something there that I'd actually love an opinion from you on and more elaboration, is that kind of the narrative around Kayshon Boutte, not just mainly this year, but you saw it when the statement came out today. Everybody kind of was just like, well, who needs him? Good riddance or whatnot. But I don't want to say unfairly, but it feels like Kayshon's kind of been unfairly labeled that. Before this year, any time he missed was because of injury.
Yeah.
Like, the guy blew his ankle to smithereens against Kentucky.
Yeah, and he was playing well.
Like that, yes. And that's why he was out the end of last year. And, I mean, he missed the game this year because of the birth of a child. Like, it's not like Kayshon was out making public headlines of getting in trouble all the time. I mean, look, I'm not absolving the guy of anything. Obviously, something could have happened here. I don't know. I'm not saying it did. I'm not saying it didn't.
And what I was told, again, I'm not going to get in. I don't know if I'm doing a disservice by putting this out there, Tim. I'm not going to get into specifics. No, I'm not going to. But I don't think, to me at least, it's not particularly egregious. It's just a simple team rule violation. Yeah. Like, it's nothing overly scandalous or something you'd be like, oh my God, that's horrible.
But he's not out there he didn't get arrested, right?
No,
you see a lot of LSU play. Like, that's not what happened here. But
smoking weed in the locker room. We'll get to that later.
I feel like that's kind of the narrative that's around him right now, and I don't necessarily totally buy that. Do you feel like that's maybe something that's kind of unfairly put on him?
I do, I do, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Where I think a lot of people carried over that Florida State game and just kind of plastered it over the entire year because the production wasn't there. And look, sometimes certainly he could have done better. I think the staff didn't always use him correctly, and I think that Jaden again wasn't always the best at taking advantage. Now I am seeing a lot of comments about Jaden. Basically, I'm seeing a lot of comments like, "Oh man, that's how bad Jaden is. He basically ran Kayshon Boutte out of town." No, again, I do not believe that to be the case. I believe those two thought that they could have success together. And as far as Jaden Daniels returning, we haven't really talked about it. But again, if you want to create the best LSU team in 2022, 2023. God, that's crazy. Jaden Daniels him returning is one of the main pieces of that. Yeah. And because even if he doesn't start, right, you bring out the best in the quarterback competition. Now, I fully expect him to start, and I think it's too much of an uphill battle for Nuss to climb. But if you're someone who thinks that Nuss is better, well, then you have nothing to worry about because he will beat him out. And if he doesn't beat him out, this is a coaching staff that has proven that they are willing to make very tough choices and switch guys out if they think you are better or even have the potential to be better than the guy in front of you. Look at moving Emory Jones to right tackle, a huge potential play that paid massive dividends this year. And that was over a senior. That was a true freshman over a fifth-year guy. So if they'll make that move, like if they really believe that Nuss gives them the best chance to win, they will not hesitate. So the bottom line is, like anything else in life, you want more talent in that quarterback room, and you let the person who performs the best win. And so Jaden returning, whether he starts or not, which again I likely think he will, it's good. It's good for the team overall. I think it gives you the best chance at winning the championship. And with Jaden, he has such a clear part of the game to focus on, right? Like it is simply. He just has to be willing to throw the ball downfield more. He has to be willing to take advantage of this wide receiver group more, throw over the middle more, trust his guys a bit more. You saw it at times this year. I think Denbrock with more time on task, getting to know him, the further fleshing out of the LSU personnel, adding to that tight end room, Mason Taylor being a year older. Like, there's a lot of reasons why. And then an offensive line that should be awesome next year. There's a lot of reasons why Jaden Daniels returning becomes very exciting. Now, Kayshon Boutte was thought to be a very exciting piece of that puzzle. But the lack of dominance this last year in the Denbrock system, while certainly you would have hoped for improvement, I don't feel that this is anything backbreaking. You did not get better, but this kind of felt like, this just feels like a classic is what it is situation. You just had to do it. You have to draw a line, and if a team rule was broken, everybody has to abide by the rules. And then you can make whatever decision based off of that you want to. And for Kayshon, maybe that was going to the NFL. Or again, maybe he just had a change of heart and he wants to go to the NFL. Either way, it is what it is. LSU has to move on. I think they will move on, and I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. And for Kayshon now, he's put the pressure on himself because it is late in the combine training regimen, and he's going to have to go against guys that have been at it for a month already. He's going to have to run a good time and everything. He's going to have to answer some hard questions about what happened or how, why the change of heart, yada, yada, yada. But he still does have a ton of talent. And I think he will still have a successful NFL career, but only time will tell. Okay, let's see. Moose, if you have any takes that you did not get to mention on the Kayshon situation, go ahead. I'm gonna look at these comments real quick, see if I see anything.
No, I mean, I think that was just kind of I'm surprised that it happened when it did. I felt like, and for the Jaden Daniels thing, I mean, if it was Jaden running him out of town, why would he have waited a week or so after Jaden Daniels announced he was coming back to make that decision?
Yeah.
If that was really the reason.
Yeah. That would have been really funny if the time had been like Jaden announced he's coming back. He's like, all right,
actually, you know what? Peace out, guys. Sorry. You know what? Change of heart. But, I mean, look, I I'm with you. You move on type deal. And you're right. LSU's never going to be hurting for skill positions. The room is still strong, and you just brought in a really nice class of receivers in recruiting. So you feel good about that position still in 2023. But what you said with Jaden, there's a clear area he needs to get better, and that's seeing the field and throwing the ball up and giving your receivers a chance. That's what Nuss does so well. But
Nuss, I've talked about this on other pods. Nuss feels better to our football mind simply because it's a style of football that we are more used to seeing out of elite quarterback play where, for better or worse, when Nuss hits the back foot, the ball is coming out. So from a timing standpoint, he's 1, 2, 3, bang!
Gone, yeah.
And to our brain, we're like, oh, yeah, that feels great, right? Kayshon's holding it, but Jaden's holding it, but when he holds it, that is also how he creates some of his most special moments. Jaden just got an interesting needle to thread. I always think about the old Arizona State OC who had a quote about how, Jaden's greatest strengths are sometimes the things that hold us back as an offense in terms of reaching our full potential. And it was a bit of a salty quote. So, it's not like that's not wholly the case. It's definitely more of a positive than a negative. But if he wanted to make himself into a true elite quarterback prospect for the NFL, if he could show more of that timing ability where I'm going to hit my back foot and I'm going to be making nice, deep, over the middle or against the sideline throws, and now I have that ability to run when I need to and I can be judicious with that. If he can refine all of that, well then especially in today's NFL, he becomes a true elite prospect.
I think consistency is the word for that with him in that regard. Because, did you see the Florida game? No,
yeah.
He gave everybody a shot in the Florida game. Did you see the Ole Miss game? The touchdown to Jere Jenkins is the one that really comes to mind, where he throws it up and Jere comes back to the ball and gets into the end zone. That stretch, and even at some points in the Tennessee game, late in the game, he started to throw it up and give guys a shot. And like you were saying, a 3-step drop ball out. That stretch there,
against Alabama, it was great.
Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, that was the best of Jaden Daniels that we saw all year. Can you find that a little bit more consistency? If you do, you've got yourself a hell of a quarterback. I really believe that.
I'll say this because he's not here, but something that Matt said is very interesting, and that is it's a bit quirky that when you look at LSU, the national media thinks Jaden Daniels is awesome.
Yeah.
And that it's a huge get for him returning, and it's very odd that it is the local conversation where controversy comes in. And to me, I feel like we're all maybe a little too close to this situation. I think more of a bird's eye view.
Such a hard line has been drawn, it feels like.
Well, it's kind of like
you're Nuss or you're that's what it feels like. You're either Nuss Bus or you're Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and first off, that doesn't that shouldn't be the case either way. But secondly, it's kind of like you don't. Again, I keep going back to the thing. Mystery box or the boat. Mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You kind of already have the boat, but a lot of you want the mystery box. And I think that's only a function of being too close to it, whereas maybe a little more cold, logical thinking, oh, wait, this guy accounted for 30 touchdowns or 40 and barely turned the ball over and beat Alabama and all this stuff. Right. It's you should be freaking ecstatic that guy's returning. So I'm very happy about that. Carly Woodard in the chat said, what are the odds we ever really know what happened? Ooh, what is this? Is this the break even?
No, that's for you. You said you want a little scotch.
Oh, hell yes, dude. Highland Park Ice Edition, little
cool
single
bottle.
malt, age 17. God damn, Matt. Let's fucking go, dude.
What better for you than the fire and ice?
Oh, wow. Look at this, dude. Little fire and ice, 15 and a 17-year-old. I think I'm going to try this 17 for this little Ice Edition. Moose, you want one?
I'm good at the moment. I got this chocolate milk thing right here, which is
what
dangerous.
is this that Moose is drinking,
this is
Matt?
dangerous.
Great Gatsby.
Oh, the Great Gatsby.
Dude, this is good.
It looks just
New Year's
as
Eve. Come get it on New Year's Eve.
ostentatious and over the top.
It tastes like chocolate milk. That's all it tastes like.
And what's the word opulent, right? It looks just as opulent as a Gatsby party. So that's very well named. Does look like a big New Year's drink. Cheers.
Cheers. Pinky out with
I
this
love
one,
saying
I feel
cheers, dude. I love saying cheers, fuel. All right, I'm going to try this in a second. Carly Woodard says, what are the odds we ever really know what happened? That's what's nice about this to me, Moose. It's fun to talk about, obviously, but
Kayshon, talking about Kayshon?
Yeah, talking about Kayshon. Sorry. It doesn't really matter. You know, like, you really, like, at the end of the day, I don't care if a team rule is broken or if Kayshon just had a simple change of heart. I wish Kayshon Boutte the best. Like Moose said, like, I actually believe when he was here, he put it on for the team.
Yes.
I mean, he won you games in 2020. Again, he gets hurt going for a crazy catch against Kentucky, smashes ankle, like Moose said. He comes back from that first ever kind of major injury he had. Sure, maybe didn't handle it perfectly, but we see that on every level, right? I mean, look at Mike Thomas. This guy set an NFL record, and he's going through a similar situation where an injury kind of derailed him for multiple years now. So that's only too easy to understand. And even this year, I don't think it was like an effort thing, right? I don't know. So I don't care how it happened. I wish Kayshon Boutte the best. And for LSU, look, that's your most talented room. So I'm not saying you're better, but it's a loss that you can absorb more easily than some others.
Yes, for sure. You're never going to be hurting for skill players at LSU. Ever.
No. I mean, basically the entire room's from Louisiana. It's their best room.
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that.
Choppa Millet says, if I'm an LSU wide receiver, ooh, boy, that is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comment at first. I thought you stopped like mid-read or something. That's the scotch.
I drank that 54%. So what does that make it, like 108 proof?
Christmas vibe still hanging around here, too, with the red and the green.
It's very fancy. It looks like a health potion and a mana potion. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. But, I mean.
You literally have never played a game with a health or mana potion?
No.
Zelda?
No. T-Bob, you've known me long enough now that I think you know the answer to that.
I thought there would be one hanging out somewhere in there.
No, not Zelda. No.
Have you ever played Super Mario?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Of course. Most of them. Mario Party, fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic.
Which Mario Party are we talking about?
All of them.
Okay, cool. Well, I didn't love the one that I played on the Switch. I mean, the N64 one.
Great.
We used to rage and play it every sleepover.
GameCube one was pretty good, too.
GameCube's underrated console.
It's a good one.
A lot of fun. Also, for anybody who did the Pokemon Stadium mini games back in the day, those were.
I see you lost me again.
A lot of fun. Ask Scone and T, bigger conspiracy. Why Boutte decided to leave or why T-Bob led a revolt in the Natty? I'm probably going to say the latter because I got asked about that every day of my life. Oh, God, that thing is icy. I got asked about that every day of my life for like 10 years. It's finally calmed down.
Until this guy just brought it back up.
Ever since the 2019 Natty. So,
that cured a lot, didn't it?
Yes, exactly. Dan Bass said, never get the full story, just like we'll never get the full story of T-Bob swinging meat in Texas Day, Brazil. Again. That is a message board. That is a message board rumor. I wish I was confident enough to swing meat in public. But there is not a level of inebriation that I could reach to swing meat in public. It is that simple.
Are you sure? I mean, just to say there's not a level of inebriation.
That's like, you
might be selling yourself short there, T.
That's what I'm saying, Moose. I have flown pretty close to the sun.
All right.
I've essentially walked on its surface, and I have yet to swing meat.
All right.
I would have to enter the sun's core, which there's no coming back from. Yeah. At that point, you're dead to swing meat.
That'd be the time to do it.
Hashtag Ask Scone and T. Did Moose's drink come with free lipstick? I don't get it. That's awesome.
It came with, it's delicious.
Also, yeah, you know what? I would wear lipstick to drink that premium cock because they're delicious here. I've had some of the best cocktails, and again, I'm not a cocktail guy. Some of the flavor creations here are amazing. N64 Rainbow Road, yeah, I would smoke all of y'all on Rainbow Road. No cheats though, no jumping off the, or I guess it's more of an exploit. I don't know. Race it like a man. Okay, don't jump off the second turn or whatever and end up on the whole lap. Unless you're like doing a speed run, then I'm done. All right, let's get back to LSU here. Blitz. Yeah, NFL Blitz is freaking awesome.
Great game. Blitz the league got out of hand, though. That one got out of hand a little bit, but it was still so fun.
I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe B Arcade still has a Blitz machine. If you like classic arcade games, V-Arcade is awesome.
It's a good spot.
And those are some real arcade heads, and they actually fix all the machines as soon as they break. They got a ton of machines in the back. They rotate them out. It's a cool spot. All right, here we go. Bob Bluesman says, I wish Kayshon Boutte the best. He's a grown man, husband, father, deserves support of LSU fans. I hope he has a fantastic NFL career. I agree. So there's nothing more that needs to be said. It is what it is. We are on to Purdue, the Boilermakers. We've been called the Boilermakers since 1891, Moose. Rabs wrote about it this week.
Okay, I was going to ask if Gordy Rush gave you that one. Okay,
it all comes from an old headline where they beat Wabash 44-0. And the headline started, Slaughter of the Innocents. And then it went...
Good Lord.
Yeah, I know, which I love.
That's right up your alley, for sure.
I was born in the wrong era of journalism. And then it said something along the lines of, these burly Boilermakers beat down Wabash. And then Boilermakers stuck for now over 100 years. Insanity. Ask Musso and T 2 questions. Does this affect the lines on DraftKings? And 2, are you taking the Pels tonight? I am thinking about it. I am not betting this LSU game. There's too many unknowns, too many new players. It's just it's too sketchy.
When I left studio today at about 6:15-ish, it was still 14.5 LSU. So, I mean, that was, the Kayshon news came out around, noon? No, 1 o'clock-ish or so?
The suspension news.
So,
yes.
He
will not be available.
He was out for the game. Whatever. Suspension, whatever you want to call it. Who cares? It doesn't matter at this point. But that news came out in about mid-afternoon, and then when I left after 6 o'clock, it was still at 14.5. So if it had
still at 14.5,
no, that's not enough. A wide receiver, no matter how good he is, first rounder talent or not, whatever, that's not going to move the line.
I don't generally bet NBA. Right now,
is
the live
still
line.
6.5 for the
Pellies?
Pellies?
Pels minus 5.5 right now. Live line. I've started 6.5. I'm taking it.
Are they winning?
They are tied.
Damn. Come on.
Against the T-Wolves. Yeah. I believe that Dyson Daniels, Zion Williamson, and who else came back tonight?
Trey.
Yep.
Zion said yesterday he was playing. So I was like, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Pellies,
dude.
bro.
Love the Pellies.
They're so good.
They're so good. And and then we got LSU basketball.
That's
set to start the PMAC here in about 27 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how
4-point line in that one. Arkansas is without a couple primetime players there.
Okay, so other things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, the Boutte news. I feel like we talked about that. Great, Jaden Daniels. Very clear. I feel about that. The other news that broke while we were out: Denver Harris.
Yeah.
Big get as Desmond Ricks go to California. 1 5-star leaves, another enters the picture. Now, I've made a lot of jokes about how I'm very happy that he could leave the corrupting influence of Jimbo Fisher and get into the healing light and process of Brian Kelly. But to be clear, the only concern with Denver Harris is just whether or not he can kind of...
Whoa. Don't take that away.
Yeah,
man.
don't take that away.
Delicious.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. You've just introduced Moose to a whole new world.
It's chocolate milk. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that is great. For like one especially, just one drink.
Oh, that's dangerous. You drink too many of those.
So Denver Harris. So for those who don't know, he comes from A&M. He's a 5-star cornerback out of Texas. LSU went after him hard. He ended up going to A&M. He had a drama-filled year one at A&M. He got suspended for the Miami game. I believe that was curfew-related. He had an incident where he was driving very fast through a parking garage while on Instagram Live, which
I mean, come on.
There's a lot to unpack there. Come on. And now you're
incriminating yourself. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, that is,
Come on, man.
I've always kind of felt like if you're going to do crime, don't film it. That's kind of been like a... It's kind of been like a basic rule of thumb there that I've lived by. When I've committed crimes, I've not done them on camera. I guess for the most part. I suppose there's a couple in there.
Oh, God.
But I mean, even then, maybe it's like a personal video or something,
that could be later in the show right there, T.
But now, what's funny is his response to that was an Instagram story. He was basically like, I'm 18 years old, like, I'm learning, something along those lines. And that is simultaneously no excuse, but also makes all the sense in the world, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that on your own little personal grudge book where you sit there and say, I forgive this person, or no, this person is damned. I'm not saying that I should sway you either way, but like, I get that it's no excuse, but I also get it. Because, again, I was 18 years old at a time, too, and Twitter wasn't even around. If Instagram Lives have been around, who knows what I may have filmed as I was sunwalking at 18 and 19 years old, reaching deeper levels of inebriation. So it's like, you know, the hope would certainly be. Oh, and then also he was among the crew that got caught smoking in the locker room, which
has that been confirmed?
Wild.
I really don't care if it has. I'm gonna run with it. But has that been confirmed?
I looked it up this morning. I thought it was. I will double check.
That was in South Carolina, right?
I do not know that. I did not go full message.
Either way, I feel like it's kind of a power move, but
it is.
I mean, dude, that's
it looks like
Like, that is
it looks like it was him.
That's
so
another
he got suspended
level.
the first time around for curfew, and then locker room incident at South Carolina.
Like, you're blazing up in the I'm giving so many Musa 420 jokes right now, but like you're blazing up in the opponent's locker room.
Well, and let me make sure,
pretty good,
because there also was There was another story about Jimbo, like, almost getting into a fight. Oh, that was it. That was it. That was the same story.
Yeah.
I mean, look, no, Moose, you're right. That's wild.
Dude, come on.
I was talking to my old man about that on Christmas, and, you know, that's a man who's been a part of a lot of locker rooms and a lot of, like, 70s and 80s locker rooms where, granted, weed wasn't as acceptable to the general public, but the teams were far more degenerate, and the shit that you hear about was far more degenerate, and even and I've had teammates like this. He's like, hey, I have teammates who smoke every single day of their life, and I've never seen them smoke in the locker room. So that is a bold choice. But he is very good at football.
Yes.
And the reality is that when you are very good at football, you maybe get additional chances. And so he has gotten an additional chance, and he's gotten out of an environment that clearly he was not succeeding in, and I got no judgment for the kid in terms of where he ends up going or what he wants to do, because I know that I made my fair shakes of mistakes and scandals, and at times I know that I was my own worst enemy. So I'm not sitting here from a place of judgment. I simply hope that in the same way that I hope that someone like a Rick Gilbert can get his kind of mentality and all the stuff figured out so that he can take advantage of what he has physically. Like, same thing for Denver Harris. I hope that this ends up being a big positive for him and that he learns from some of those lessons. Because, look, a lot of times the lowest moments of your life are things you learn from the most. Like, when I got my DWI in college, that kind of saved me in a lot of ways because it made me kind of refocus and recenter where I was going. And so the hope would be that he can be kind of ironed out, and because Kelly's entire process is about positive daily habit creation and accountability to your brothers. And if you break a team rule, you're not being accountable to your brothers, and consequences ensue. And so maybe Denver Harris ends up not playing if he can't get it figured out. But maybe he does, and he ends up being really good. My friends, if this guy was transferred somewhere else, T-Bob would be calling him trouble. I don't think that I'm not calling him trouble.
We just went through everything he did wrong.
I think that what I'm saying is I hope for his case, and then, you know, obviously be good for LSU. But like, he's really talented and can play a long time in the NFL. And I hope that he just take care of the shit you have to take care of. You can still party, you can still smoke, you can still do other stuff, but you just got to do it a bit more judiciously, perhaps. And then if you're still good at football, nobody cares. So certainly hope that he gets it figured out for himself. Besh deleted his crying emoji tweet.
No.
I mean, look, I think that's all fair by
It's
Jack
okay.
Besh.
It's been screenshotted plenty of times. Don't worry.
Yeah. Remember, kids,
I'd let you know, man. I mean, that's
anything you post on the internet is written in virtual stone. Well, Besh was obviously frustrated with a diminished role.
And I get
He probably felt like Kayshon wasn't producing yet, was being given opportunity. And so, yeah.
I mean, I 100% get it. And it sucks what happened with Jack this year. I mean, the injuries in camp, I mean, put him behind the 8 ball from the start. And I mean, that's a guy who, when Kayshon went down in 21, Jack's the guy who stepped up. Like, I mean, he was the one who ended up being your leading receiver.
Yeah.
And so I get it. Like, I get the frustration there. And that's another one. You wish the best of luck to Jack Bech. I mean, he's going to have a great role at TCU, man. And Sonny Dykes offense, like, let's go.
Hot take. I don't want any college player to do bad. Unless you go to Alabama, then
or
fuck
Florida.
you bitch.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
they suck, both
look,
of them.
Even then, like Bryce Young's infinitely likable. Like, I don't want any college kid to do bad. Now I want their teams to do bad, and sometimes as kids struggling, but I don't ever root for any kids to fail.
That's like,
it's a bit of a proxy.
Come on. Yeah,
so I can sleep at night, technicality type of deal. But like, no, I'm not really rooting for any individual to fail. In the macro, yeah, I want Auburn to fail. I want the whole SEC to fail. I kind of like Arkansas. I wasn't mad when Arkansas was beating the hell out of Kansas, even though I would have clowned them if they had lost.
Why, man? Kansas deserved to win. They deserved to finish it
I
off
love
7
Kansas,
and 6.
dude. I love Kansas. I had a lot of fun in Kansas. Kansas was.
Had a lot
I think
of
I
fun
lost all my money back.
Had a lot of fun in Kansas.
Yeah, with Kansas this year.
I was about to say, when did you go to Kansas?
No, Kansas was so hot early on. They were kind of
they were great. They were like 8-0 against the spread.
Yeah,
they were great.
Came, like,
fantastic.
swinging those hips out of the cornfield. I was like, ooh, look at this. Daisy Duke's on, and then they just kind of fell apart a little bit at the end. That's all good.
Their quarterback got hurt. Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, but that guy
How wild
Bean,
is that guy?
that guy Bean muddied the waters because he came in and fucking balled. Initially, and I was like, okay, we're good. And then Jaden Daniels for Kansas. Fuck the SEC is the point, but don't fuck these kids. As
good
for
advice right there. Good advice right there.
Are we maybe simply overlooking just how bad this wide receiver draft class is? I think it had to be a major factor in Boutte declaring. Again, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Potentially. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a big draft guy.
That's the thing. I'm not a huge draft guy. That's what I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna actually stay away from.
No,
that
I don't think. I don't.
I
Again, I think it's another point where it doesn't actually matter. I don't care if he declared or if something else happened he declared. I wish him the best, and I hope that he does well. And I hope that it's a bad wide receiver class so he can maximize his value. That man just had a kid. I want him to make life-changing money that will set him and his family up for his entire life.
Okay, so here's my deal with Kayshon in the draft, right? I know there was everything, and like he's not listed on any of the mocks or whatnot, or you look at the big boards for the receivers, whatever, and he's down there. Kayshon Boutte very much feels like the guy that if he goes through the interview process fine, like if he answers their questions, he's a good enough athlete that he's going to perform well enough in any test they give him, 40, route tree, whatever they want to throw at him, and then they flip on the tape, that he could sneak into the back end of the first round still. I mean, come on.
I hope so. The only thing that gives me a bit of pause is he just hasn't he just didn't flash much this year. He had the Georgia play.
He caught 300 yards worth of passes as a freshman in this league.
I know.
Like, I mean, you turn on that tape and he can't be that far from. And I get it. You're coming off an injury, and you're coming off an injury.
Yeah,
but
you're coming off an injury, and you're that much, and that's why the running the time's actually be so important to him. He has to run a good time, because he felt a little slow. Maybe
that's fair. No, that's fair, and you're not the first person to say that. I don't know.
But I could be reading too much into this.
Maybe I'm reading too much into what maybe I'm being too biased as to what I think of him. But I mean, I don't know. I look at him and I'm like, man, if he answers their questions, who's really kind of to stop him from shooting up boards late?
Yeah, no, for sure.
He feels like that candidate.
Okay, I think what you're getting at, and I'm inclined to agree here, he is someone who represents a bit of a draft steal.
Oh, for sure.
In that but it's a risk, because maybe it's not a steal. And
every steal's a risk, though.
And as Aaron Murray said on Snaps, every risk is risky. Okay, so never forget this. That's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
But it is true.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Technically true. So, so he will be tantalizing because you know that his value is not, like Moose is saying, what he has flashed at times in his career. The problem is that flash which was so intense and bright and hot, and actually did continue into the next year. It's not just the end of that year, right? It continued end of 2020, beginning of 2021. It has now been about a year and a half since you've seen that. And so when do you pull the trigger when you're an NFL team? That'll be fascinating to see. All right, let's see if we got some more questions here in the chat. The edibles are kicking in, Musso.
No, get out of here.
Yeah, I spiked Musso's drink with
gummies.
tincture.
Yeah,
no, with tincture.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Tincture's heavy too, dude. Watch out now. Let me see here. Actually, I don't know that we got any more great Ask Scone or T questions yet. Go ahead and put. If you want to get any questions, we'll come back to them. So, look, again, Denver Harris, hope that everything works out for the best. And the other piece of news that I was a bit surprised to see because the timing of it was weird was Ali Gay announcing that he was going to forego the game. That is someone who feels you can definitely say is doing the right things. That is someone who has a great reputation. He won the leadership award this year. I can't remember exactly what it's called now, but he basically won what almost used to be kind of the unsung hero award of the team. And he's been one of the core leaders in helping. Like when Brian Kelly got here, Ali Gay took charge and said, look, we are going to buy in to this guy's process, and we're going to see where it takes us. Now, for him personally, he didn't have the most dominant season. He was solid, and he flashed at times, but again, not the most dominant. But obviously a kid that you wish nothing but the best for. And do not fault him at all for foregoing the bowl game and getting into NFL preparation. I don't fault anybody that does. I also don't fault you if you want to play. Like, that's cool too. But I think it makes all the sense in the world to start to get ready for the league. What is interesting is Savion Smith. Yeah. Come on down, dude. He is someone who showed a ton of potential this year. Played a lot. Seemed to play more as the year went on. Flashed a lot. Made a lot of plays. And now he should get a ton of reps in this bowl game. Quincy Wiggins should probably see some additional reps.
Love the waiver, man. Love the waiver that a guy like Quincy Wiggins can get out there and play.
Yeah, I feel like
that
that's
makes
the
a lot
only
of
guy
sense,
that it's really. Yes, dude. They should have done it last year.
They should make it permanent. But anyway.
I guess I assumed they would. I might never in Ask Scone and T when you guys going to sip the Highland Park. I did. I drank the Highland Park Ice, and it is. I love single malt Scotch. It is delicious. It has some serious frost to it. Let me try to see if I can.
That's that good gnat sound right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you just heard.
I don't think I have advanced enough palate to pick out any flavors. I like it though, but I like salt. It's not very peaty, but it's not a really smooth. There's a satisfying. That's interesting, man. I don't know how that's. It's got an extended burn to it. Like I'm still feeling right now, and it sounds really good, or it feels really good.
So with the defensive line, real fast. Let me ask you this. So Kelly, mentioned it on his final radio show of the year that they were going to have to get creative, right? Because you weren't going to have Ali Gay, you weren't going to have B.J. Ojulari, you weren't going to have Jaquelin Roy, and for that matter, you haven't had Mason Smith all year, right? So your four original starters are gone for this game. You have Mekhi Wingo, who's been fantastic.
You're All-American.
Yes, right. and again, look, I mean, he was freshman All-SEC, but no one could have really foreseen what he did this year, I understand. And you have to get creative. And that they did. So did you see the 2 deep that they released yesterday?
Oh, no.
Okay, so Mike Jones is listed at Jack, which I actually find fascinating. And it makes a lot of sense because it feels like trying to move him inside for 2 years now has been square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
Right? And he kind of came from Clemson in that role of rush off the edge, outside linebacker, or you can potentially drop into coverage.
Yeah.
This feels like, now it's an or, like it's Mike Jones Jr. or Quincy Wiggins at Jack, but it feels like you're going to see potentially both of them in the game. And if Mike Jones, who has another year of eligibility, if he shows out, could he be, because you don't have Ojulari, Desmond Little to enter the portal, right? And, obviously, look, they love Deshaun Womack, who they got in recruiting, but he's a freshman to come in. is that a spot where Mike Jones, if he can show out in the bowl game, which he has the skill set, at least I think, to play Jack, can he potentially carve out a role there for LSU in the future? That's something bowl games suck now, right? We all agree of that, but that's some intrigue. I think
that's
added.
The good part about bowl games.
Right,
yeah,
that's intrigue added to this game. Is Mike Jones? When I looked at the 2 Deep yesterday when they sent out the game notes, that was one of the things that jumped off. I was like, holy crap, Mike Jones Jr.
Yeah, so I think this. I think that
was a Sean Payton, but continue.
I cannot. Yeah. Well, listen.
I think this.
Listen, I think this. I believe, or I shouldn't say believe. I don't know that I can sit here and expect, like play myself again and expect Mike Jones to be a contributor. But I do know that in the same way that they loved Ollie Gay, they absolutely loved Mike Jones. I should say love, not past tense, just because he ended up losing playing time. They love Mike Jones from a leadership standpoint. If you watched any of the behind-the-scenes stuff, the follow that they did on LSU over the preseason and the process, Mike Jones was one of the leading voices on that documentary, talking about the positive impact that Brian Kelly has had and how he can't wait to see where LSU is 3, 4, 5 years down the road. So he, too, is someone who bought in from day one, who made himself into a leader in this team, and unfortunately just got outskilled a bit at the position that he was trying to play. So I would love it if Mike Jones could have a moment of clarity where it all comes together and he finds a position and a role on this team. And I think the coaches would be over the moon as well. And sure, maybe that's his moment. I don't expect it, but that would be awesome.
It's something I noticed, and I was like, wait a minute. That could be interesting.
Well, yeah, and again, the coaches love him, which is a great prerequisite to have. Like, they want to put that kid on the field. He just has to prove that he should be on the field. Ask Scone or ask Musso and T, have you all watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio yet? I thought you have, Moose. It's a new stop-motion movie on Netflix. I love Guillermo del Toro, so I am maybe a bit biased. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Like a truly fantastic movie. I would give it 2 thumbs up. Must watch, especially if you have ever been into stop-motion animation. What you see in this movie will blow your mind. And then I can't recommend enough watching the 30-minute behind-the-scenes documentary afterwards where you see that there were not many computer effects employed. This is old school, badass stop motion. Shout out Robot Chicken. You ever watch Robot Chicken?
Yeah, Seth Green. Yeah, man.
Loved.
Robot Chicken was good.
And then probably not many of y'all, unless you're my age, remember Kablam. Kablam was a short that I used to play that did stop motion with toys.
What about Celebrity Deathmatch? Were you a big Celebrity Deathmatch guy? Yeah, that was a good one, man.
Claymation.
That was a good show.
Anything. Celebrity Deathmatch was fucking hilarious.
That was awesome.
For those that don't know,
great.
This was an old claymation, and I'm a little kid, so my details are probably fuzzy, right? But it was an old claymation wrestling show where they would have little clay figures that looked like celebrities come out, and they would murder each other in the ring, like sawing off arms, smashing in heads, brains, and eyeballs splattering everywhere. It was fantastic. As Musso T, how adorable is Baby Baggins? Bilbo, you done good. Baby Baggins is absolutely
seen
adorable.
the Twitter pics.
Will the Nasiah win just 2 Heismans or just the 1? 3.
3.
Musso, is that Borden or Klein Peter chocolate milk? You know, I like both quite a bit, actually. I don't know that I have an opinion.
Borden. No, Borden's the
You're a Borden
guy.
boy?
Yeah. That's the one with the cow, right, Elsie? That's
Yes.
Borden? Yeah, man. Dude, that's the stuff. That's the stuff.
Klein Peter's hitting too, though, dude.
That's good. It's good.
Any truth to the rumors about Brady and Sean Payton in the Saints next year? I will say this. One thing this is not is pure clickbait. Now, I don't know the reality of it. The only thing I believe is that there is an NFL shadow lord. Somebody connected to Payton. There is a power broker who is seeding these stories. Now, to what end? I don't know. Maybe Sean Payton's never planning on coming back to New Orleans, but somebody with authority is definitely putting out this idea that he wants to. Could all be showed and fraud and part of a larger web of lies and a big smokescreen, a big game, but it's not a reporter making something up out of thin air and then running with it.
What's the benefit to that, though, right? Like, it's not like that's going to get him – how is that going to get him a bigger contract? Because
apply pressure to somebody like the Cowboys.
But they still have to give the Saints compensation. Like, the Saints still benefit from that anyway. So that's where I'm kind of like, okay, so, because I've thought of that too, but I'm like, how does that necessarily benefit Sean Payton?
Because if
he's worth what he's worth, you're in trade value, I mean.
Yeah.
In trade value, I mean. So you're still going to have to give that up and then pay him. Like, or are you really going to be like, oh, you got to, stealing from the Saints, we got to pay more for that, even though you have to give the Saints assets?
I think it could be that simple.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think that in a negotiation situation, the more wanted you are is a good thing. Like, one of the reasons why Kansas City traded up to take Patrick Mahomes ahead of New Orleans because they knew New Orleans was going to take him.
God, can you imagine?
And so in that same way, if I'm Jerry Jones, Cowboys have a great year, and then the Cowboys lose in the first week of the playoffs,
to the
as they are wont to do. Jerry
to
Jones,
the Bucs?
Cliff Nelson, get out of here. Jerry Jones may be a little more willing to pull that trigger on Mike McCarthy and go after his beloved.
Bro, that's brutal.
I'm sorry,
Sean that's
Payton.
brutal.
So I don't know.
If you fire Mike McCarthy after this, that's brutal.
Yes, but at the same time, hard choices have to be made.
I get it, and I know
it's like
Sean Payton.
It's like the old LSU legend of Les Miles and Nick Saban.
Are Sean
where Nick
Payton
Saban
and Mike
wanted
McCarthy
to come
really
back
that
here,
different?
But it's like when Nick Saban wanted to come back here after are Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy that different? Well, no, not statistically. In terms of how they are viewed, yes.
Which is wild, but anyway, continue.
I
Yeah,
agree
if you're
with you.
Les and Nick.
The old legend goes that Nick wanted to come back.
Yeah,
Les
why
was
wouldn't
doing
he?
good, people pissed, and they didn't give him the opportunity. It would have been a very bold choice, and it would have been one now that, with the benefit of hindsight, would have been the absolute correct decision, right?
It was foolproof.
And
I mean,
so,
it's
in that same way, if you're Jerry Jones, and you're like, look, this Mike McCarthy thing's been fine, but I can have Sean Payton. And to your point, Moose, there's not a lot of difference statistically at all. But if Jerry Jones just believes that Sean Payton is that guy, then you got to pull the trigger.
I mean, look,
the
I
same
get
way
it.
that if you're the Saints, I don't care how tough the conversations are. If it's real, and I offer you Dennis Allen and Andy Dalton on one hand, and even just Sean Payton, but especially Sean Payton, Tom Brady on the other hand, I'm taking the other hand every fucking time.
So that's okay. I'm with you, but a lot of people have pushed back on 46-year-old Tom Brady, which I think is nuts.
Hey, guys, we have 36-year-old Andy fucking Dalton. What are we talking about?
But not like that.
And Andy's been fine. I would rather fail with 46-year-old Brady, though, than 37-year-old Dalton, dude.
Doesn't the sample size show you're more likely to succeed with 46-year-old Brady?
Yes,
oh, God, year 45. He's 45 years old. It was a bad year, and his offensive line's in shambles. Half his receiving core has been hurt all year. He still ranks top 10 in damn near every fucking category in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Like, yeah, okay, I'll take 46-year-old Brady, sure.
And that's not even a slight on Dalton, because I've been a Dalton hater, and Dalton's been damn solid.
And
I called Dalton the perfect bridge quarterback earlier this week. Now, Tom Brady's actually the perfect bridge quarterback, but Andy Dalton's about as good as you could hope for. But I'll still take Brady and Peyton all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but it's only a 1-2 year fix. Who cares? Do you win a Super Bowl in those 1 or 2 years? Who gives a damn then?
Ask Musso and T, do you take Derek Carr? I think Derek Carr will end up getting priced out of your range, but I'm a bit of a Derek Carr truther. And I'm not going to die on a hill, and if you tell me I'm an idiot, I'm not going to fight back too hard. But Derek Carr, look, we've seen more and more in the NFL how situation matters. Any quarterback in San Francisco fucking balls out. Tua Tagovailoa went from being awful to being great for much of this year. Now, teams have maybe kind of counterpunch, and he has figured out if him and McDaniel can counterpunch back, but you saw what a difference that made. Derek Carr has been in one of the most unenviable, horrible, awful positions and franchise and situations since he entered the league. I do always wonder what that guy would be like with a more stable organization and environment around him. I don't know that the Saints are the one to offer that unless maybe we get a Sean Payton back. But either way, I think there's going to be enough of a market for Derek Carr. Colts certainly would feel like a team that would be supremely interested. Maybe the Commies. I don't know. I mean, whatever. There's a bunch of NFL teams that want Derek Carr, so I don't know if the Saints want to get involved in that sweepstakes.
Derek Carr quarterbacked a playoff team last year. I'm inclined to say the problem is Josh McDaniels. And
Josh McDaniels is dirty, dude.
He quarterbacked a playoff team whose head coach got fired in scandal in the middle of the damn season.
Yeah,
I'm inclined to say that Josh McDaniels is the problem.
God, but that's
come
fucking
on,
classic Raiders. They hired a failed coach and he failed.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Dennis Allen.
Yeah, I know that is.
To be fair, they hired him as a head coach before he failed.
Well, but also it's like I'll even give Dennis Allen maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's in a good year.
I'm just mad at Dennis Allen.
I'm mad too.
I have really nothing nice to say.
He too. If we're going to extend the Raiders' excuse to Derek Carr, I'll give Dennis Allen a bit of the Raiders' excuse as well.
I'll reluctantly say fair game,
just to keep it fair here. Let's see if we got any more questions here. About to wrap up. LSU about to tip off. We don't have the Pelicans game on in here. I'm wondering what the score is. What's the score, Scott? Do you know?
Figure that out.
Okay. Shit, 50-43.
Not ideal.
God damn it. Come on, Pels.
Gotta beat the fucking Timberwolves, dude. Jesus.
They'll get him. I'm not worried, dude.
They'll get him.
Game of runs, dude. Game of runs. Zion's going to take over the fourth quarter.
It's just so good, man. This is what you wanted, right? You can get all 4 of them back that you lost, and then go into another tough part of your schedule. This is it. Come on.
Look at you.
Oh, T, we are in,
Pelicans
bro.
fan,
we are
dude.
in. See,
and then I'm in on LSU baseball.
Hey, you say you're ready to close down. Don't start that conversation. We'll be here till 9 o'clock.
No, we can't this week. I should have. I dropped the ball.
No, there are more pressing matters. We'll
have plenty of Scone and T to talk LSU baseball as well. I am.
Yeah, all the way till June.
Yeah, I am wildly
late June.
Excited. Exactly. I am wildly excited about this LSU football team. All right, we got to go. We are here at Oliver Twist. Huge thank you to Oliver Twist for having us out here every week. We absolutely love it here. Again, for New Year's, Oliver Twist is your home. Bottomless champagne, excellent cocktails, Moose Drink, the Great Gatsby.
Fantastic.
Which I would definitely recommend ordering. The Ghost in the Machine on tap. I had some delicious Highland Park Ice Edition Scotch. Look, the liquor selection is unlike anywhere in the city. So we're out here every Wednesday, 7 to 8, if you ever want to come hang out. And if you listen to the pod, please rate and review it. That helps kind of organically grow. It helps out your boys. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next week on. And hey, huge thank you to Moose for filling in for Matt here. And we'll see you next week on Scone and T.